Good morning, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, please confirm in the chat box. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So today's session promises to be another very insightful session. We've brought on here an expert that will be taking us through another very interesting topic that we'll be taking today. Good morning, Aminat. Thank you for responding in a chat box. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone has joined so far. But please, I'd like to crave your indulgence for us to wait a bit for others to join. I can see that more people are joining. So if you please crave, I'd like to please crave your indulgence a bit so we can start off proper by 11:10. This is to allow more people to join the session. Thank you so much for all those that have joined so far. We'll be starting by 11:10. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Oluwadun saying we are here. We're just waiting for more people to join the session so that we can start proper. We'll be starting proper by 11:10. So please, just please be patient. We'll be starting proper by 11:10. Thank you. We kick off. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session, and thank you, everyone that has joined us for another very um insightful session. So, today's session is going to be today's session promises to be another, very educative session where you learn a lot. We've got on here an expert that will be taking us through on what we'll be speaking on today. And today we'll be speaking on building strategic partnership and collaborations. Now you would agree with me that even naturally in life, there's no man that is an island. And so also for your businesses, you need to ensure that, you know, while building your business, you don't just set up your business and just not plan for the kind of partnership that you bring on board. Bringing in the right partnership, bringing in strategic partnership and collaborations would really help you in, you know, growing your business. Now, the kind of partnership that you bring in into your business can either make or mar your business. And that's why we've decided to, bring in an expert in today that would be speaking on building the strategic partnership and collaborations and leveraging networks for business expansion. Now, just before we bring on our facilitator for today, my name is Omotayo Akiomi. I'm the business support officer here at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was established by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund law in 2016. And this law, the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was brought into being to help curb the issue of unemployment right here in Lagos State. And one of the things that we do to help curb this is to grant access to finance to business owners. We also have capacity building opportunities that we give to businesses, such as our master classes and our webinars, our advisory sessions. We also have physical business advisory sessions that we hold for business owners right here in Lagos State. Now, the aim of all of these programs is to ensure that we not only provide you with the finance that you need for your business, but we also equip you with the necessary skill and knowledge that you need to help apply these finances right, and also ensure that you have you know, the right strategies in place that would help you, put this finance to good use for your business. So we have our business support unit where I'm an officer at, and at the business support units, the programs that we have on offer at the business support unit, we have our master classes, we have our advisory sessions. Under our advisory sessions, we have our financial advisory sessions, which speaks to your finances. We have our HR advisory sessions, which speaks to your manpower, your hiring strategies for your businesses. We also have our marketing advisory, we have our risk advisory sessions, and we have our legal advisory sessions for our business support. We also have our access to market opportunities that we give to business owners right here in Lagos State. And we also have our free business registration programs that we run for those that are interested in registering their businesses. We have our employability units, and what they do is they provide access to trainings for those that are within the ages of 18 to 35. So if you're within the ages of 18 to 35 and you'd like to acquire a skill, you can go into any local government close to you. Now we are in all local governments in Lagos State, and we're also in 6 LCDAs. So you can walk into any local government close to you, ask for the LSCTF office, and our officers there will be right there to attend to you and to assist you with any of our programs that you're interested in and you'd like to partake of. So we also have our Lagos Innovate unit. If you're in the tech space, you have budding tech ideas that you'd like to bring to life, you have a need for a workspace that you'd like to, just be there, work without disturbance, This is where our Lagos Innovate team comes in. So you can please walk into any of our local governments, any of the local governments around you, any local government close to you. We have our offices in all the local governments, and you have our officers there that'll be right there to attend to you for any of our programs. Another thing that I always also say is you can follow us on all our social media platforms and also ensure that you have your post notifications turned on so that for every of our programs that we post on our social media platforms, you do not miss out on any one of them. So welcome everyone once again to today's session, and with us here today that we're taking today's session is Mr. Emmanuel Osubo. Now, Mr. Emmanuel Osubo, Mr. Emmanuel Osubo is a dynamic entrepreneur and strategist with a strong track record in driving growth, building partnerships, and shaping large-scale ventures across Africa. He's the co-founder and CEO of Quanta Africa, where he leads innovation, operational efficiency, and business transformation initiatives for clients. He has held leadership roles spanning edtech, cloud solution, fintech, payments, and marketing, including serving as VP of Growth and Partnership at Celta and a B2B cross-border payment platform, and as head growth and marketing at a leading marketing agency. Mr. Emmanuel also previously led Post Now as CEO, where he introduced a B2B model that scaled revenue more than 5 times in 6 months. As a serial founder, Mr. Emmanuel has built and led multiple startups across diverse sectors: 1010 Advisory, a digital marketing consulting firm; Questa Gate Capital, a savings and investment fintech platform; and Talent Dev, a tech training startup focused on developing the next generation of African talents, among others. These ventures reflect his commitment to solving problems through innovation, technology, and human capital development, with expertise spanning across strategy, partnership, growth, marketing, and business transformation. Mr. Emmanuel Osubo combines entrepreneurial drive with a deep commitment to Africa's future, building ventures, ecosystem, and platforms that merge technology and culture on a global scale. So now you'd agree with me that Mr. Emmanuel is one of the best in this field and would be in the best position to take us through today's topic. So can we please welcome our facilitator, even as he takes over today's session? Mr. Emmanuel, please, you can go ahead with today's session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Momi. Kindly confirm that she can hear me. Can I also get some confirmation from the participants? I'd like to confirm that you all can hear me. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Emmanuel. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, very well. Thank you for that warm introduction. My name is Emmanuel. As you know, rightly introduced, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to be able to share knowledge with us on this call today. I'd like to thank LSTF for the opportunity, and I hope that we'll be able to have a healthy interaction here today. And hopefully at the end of today's session, we understand a bit better what partnerships it's expected to do for our businesses, and even how to go by, these partnerships with our own individual businesses. I'd like this to be a little bit interactive, so kindly, engage when I do ask for some engagements. You can just send chats in the chat section. I can see some of us are already in the chat section, right? So just kindly do that. I'm about to share my screen. Just give me a second to do that. Okay, so while I'm sharing my screen, I'd like to get a good sense of the businesses in the room. I believe we're all entrepreneurs on this call. So if you can just type in the chat feed what your business is, that would be good. Just a good summary of your business, one line summary, or a few words summary of your business. I'd appreciate that. So just in the chat section, what your business does. I can see quite a number of us on this call, so just type in the chat section what your business does. That would be lovely while I pull up my slides to share. All right. I'm waiting for our engagement. Let's do that. Let's do that. What does your business do? Okay, I'm not sure I'm seeing any okay, yeah, I can see one person saying I'm a fashion designer. Beautiful. Okay, good, good. Can a few more people kindly also let us know what their businesses do? Okay. I sell perfume oils, undiluted perfume oils, wholesale and retail. Okay. Okay. Fashion designer. Okay. Okay. 3D artists. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Ololade Auto Rec, a business consulting firm that helps business owners secure and protect their brand identity. Okay, good. Okay, so we have a good sense of the businesses that we have on the call. I can see we have some fashion designers on the call. We have an artist, a 3D artist. We have a perfume oil seller, or a fragrance connoisseur, if you would allow me to use that word. We also have a business consulting firm. It's a brand consulting firm. Okay. I sell modern snacks in different packages. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, someone says I'm a soilless farmer. I can see this person is about innovation. Okay, cool. All right, good, good. Thanks for indulging there. Kindly confirm that you can see my screen. I'd just like an indication to be sure that my screen is visible at this point. Okay, great. All right then. So we're discussing building strategic partnerships and collaborations today. I'll be looking at how to leverage network, immediate and non-immediate networks for business expansion, right? And I'd like to, first of all, just throw a little bit of light, right, into what partnerships are. As much as I understand that we're all business people here, and we most likely all understand what partnerships are, I just like to reiterate the core ideas of partnerships, right? And there are two main ideas around partnerships. The first being that it involves two or more parties combining their resources, their skills, and or capital to run a business for gains. I'll repeat that. It involves two or more parties combining their resources, skills, and or their capital to run a business for gains. And I use the word gains here interchangeably with the word profit. But I didn't want to confuse us with just monetary profit is why I use the word gains, because it could be monetary gains, it could be reputational gain, and it could be operational gain, right? It's not just, so partnerships are not just for monetary purposes only. However, second idea is that each partner contributes something valuable to the partnership, right? It could be money, property, expertise, technology, or labor, right? And both partners or all the partners within the partnership share in the profits and the risks. So again, profits here I can use interchangeably with the word gains because it's not just financial profits. It could also be other forms of profits, operational efficiency. It could be brand awareness, right? It could be financial and the risks as well. So a partnership basically involves two or more parties combining their resources, skills, or capitals to run a business. Now, this is a business partnership I'm referring to run a business. And each partner within the partnership contributes something of value. That's what makes it a partnership, right? A partnership is not a situation where one person contributes, value, and then the other person doesn't. That's not a partnership. A partnership is a situation where one person, both parties or all the parties involved contribute value to the partnership, right? And they both share within the profits and the risks of being in that partnership. All right. Very quickly, I'd like us to do a little bit of an exercise. So I've got a few logos up here, right? And I'd like to know what partnerships you can see. Now, I'm asking for established partnerships as of today. Which ones can you see? So what I'm expecting from you is to look at two logos and say, oh, okay, I can see logo A and logo B, and I believe of all these logos here, this logo or this company and that company are in a partnership or were in a partnership at point in time or the other. So this is an exercise. So I'd like to get an interaction here. So just look at the screen. I'm showing a bunch of logos, company logos on my screen. And I want you to look at those company logos and tell me what partnerships you can see on the screen. What partnerships can you see? So I'm expecting, your responses in the chat section. What partnerships can you see? What partnerships can you see? So if you're submitting a response, just type in the both company names, right? So okay, I can see somebody's typed in MTN. So MTN and which other company here are you referring to, right? So MTN and, or, oh, okay, I can see a few people have submitted Domino's and Cold Stone. Someone says MTN, Domino's, Cold Stone, and Chowdeck. Okay, that's an interesting partnership. That's a very interesting partnership. But yeah, so partnerships, what partnerships can you see? What partnerships can you see? I'll just wait for a few more seconds. Everybody's putting Chowdeck and somebody, or Chowdeck and Cold Stone, Chowdeck and Paystack. Yep, I can see that. I can see that. A few more seconds. What partnerships can you see? What partnerships can you see? Just give us a few more seconds to do that. What partnerships can you see? Okay. All right. So our submissions, I can see first person said MTN, and who EP did you didn't eventually conclude. Okay, so Domino's and Cold Stone. Domino's and Cold Stone, yes. Most likely everybody here had seen Cold Stone Creamery anytime they've been to Domino's. But you see, what most people don't know is that Cold Stone is a separate company from Domino's. However, you would think that, it's one and the same because everywhere you find a Domino's outlet here in the country, you would most likely find a Cold Stone shop inside the Domino's, right? But that's not the case. So Domino's and Cold Stone are a partnership. It is not one business, right? So yes, that person's correct. Domino's and Cold Stone. The person that said MTN, Domino's, Cold Stone, and Chowdeck. I mean, I'll give you an opportunity to redeem yourself. Because I don't know about that kind of partnership. And I'm just looking for just two names, right? Just piece two names together. Okay, right? But now I don't think MTN is in partnership with Domino's and Chowdeck together all in one, right? So yeah. But I mean, feel free to enlighten us just in case I'm not aware of it. Then Paystack and Visa. Yes, Paystack and Visa entered into a partnership at some point. I believe in 2016 when Visa funded, Paystack. So they invested in Paystack in 2016. 2018 actually, during their Series A funding. Visa did fund them, and one of the things they also brought to the table was the ability for Paystack to be able to accept Visa cards, right? But beyond that, there's a bigger partnership with Visa that we have on here, and nobody has mentioned, and that's Visa and Flutterwave. Visa and Flutterwave, a major partnership between Visa and Flutterwave, right? So Flutterwave is, as we all know, a payment processing company, and it was targeted towards businesses from the get-go. And sometime in 2016, I believe, Visa entered into a partnership with Flutterwave to be able to accept payments across Africa. Now, initially, Flutterwave could only accept payments in Nigeria. But then they sought a partnership with Visa that gave them the opportunity to accept payments from the whole of Africa, right? Similarly to that partnership is Paystack and Stripe. Paystack and Stripe, right? Nobody's mentioned that. Now, so Paystack integrated with Stripe in 2016. Initial integration with Stripe was in 2016, and this allowed Paystack merchants to collect payments from outside the country. Stripe is an international payments processor. Paystack was a Nigerian payments processor at the time. But the integration and the partnership with Stripe allowed them to expand their footprint, right, to reach a wider audience. Typically, it happened because a lot of Nigerian businesses were trying to sell to other Nigerians outside Nigeria. Yeah, so majorly the US, the UK, and Canada. But Paystack infrastructure could only work in Nigeria at the time. However, Stripe had an existing payment processor platform that could accept payments in multiple international countries, including, UK, US, and Canada. So Paystack integrated with Stripe in 2016 that allowed Nigerians abroad to patronize Nigerian businesses, that's local businesses in Nigeria that are domiciled in Nigeria, right? So that partnership gave Paystack that footprint. Quite all right. Of course, that particular partnership did, grow into an acquisition eventually in 2020. But first, in 2018, Stripe invested in Paystack during one of their, I believe, their Series A round. They invested in Paystack because they had been working with them for 2 years, and they noticed that Paystack is a business to to work with, right? Particularly also because Stripe was also looking to enter into the African market at the time. Paystack had built a capability to do that, and they were thriving very well. So they invested in Paystack in 2018, and then eventually in 2020 they acquired Paystack. Some of us here might hear of that news, right? Of the acquisition of Stripe, of Paystack by Stripe, right? So yeah, I'm seeing Chowdeck and Paystack. Yes. So Chowdeck and Paystack is a partnership. There's a partnership there. Um, you know, Chowdeck uses Paystack payments infrastructure to collect payments. It makes it seamless. It makes it easy, and then there's a profit sharing somewhere there because, Paystack is paid for being able to provide that service to Chowdeck, right? Chowdeck and Cold Stone, yes, definitely Chowdeck and Cold Stone, because you can find Cold Stone's products on Chowdeck's platform. It gives them a wider audience, gives them a wider reach beyond the physical locality where the Cold Stone building is, right? With Chowdeck, a Cold Stone can sell to people a little further away, or much further away, miles away from their actual physical store, right? I was hoping somebody would say Amokelge and Cold Stone. There's an Amokelge, what's it called here? Logo here, and Chowdeck rather, Amokelge and Chowdeck. Sometime in May this year, there was the release of the information that Amokelge had done over 2.3 billion naira transactions on Chowdeck, right? I believe since inception of their being on the platform. And that was huge because naturally, if it was left to just the brick and mortar restaurants that they have, they might not have been able to pull off that number in terms of revenue. But because they're able to, enroll their business on Chowdeck, more people farther away from their physical restaurants can see their products, that's their food, they can order, and they can get their meals right in the comfort of their homes. That's a partnership as well, right? Chowdeck and anybody listed on their platform is a partnership, right? And that gave Amokelge the ability to sell over 2.3 billion naira in worth of food on Chowdeck alone. So you can imagine if they have the same partnership with Glovo, right? And then they also sell in their brick and mortar restaurants. You can imagine what their overall turnover or revenue would be. So these are what partnerships. The other partnerships you can see here, nobody had mentioned, is Ray-Ban and Meta, with Meta glasses. I don't have mine here, but yeah. So recently we've seen AI wearables. One of those kind of devices are the Meta glasses that you can use to record while you're wearing your glasses. And then Meta partnered with Ray-Ban, who is an existing, glasses manufacturer, to do that, right? Another partnership here that I was hoping somebody would say is Huawei and MTN. For the longest time, Huawei was the hardware partner for MTN in this country. Some of us might remember some MTN phones from back in the day. They always had Huawei somewhere at the back written. Some modems as well, MiFi's, Wi-Fi's, that we used much earlier than now, from MTN, also always had Huawei, right? So Huawei was MTN's hardware partner for the longest time in this country, right? But yeah, so those are, some partnerships, right? Thank you very much, everyone, for participating in that. Of course, I did make it a note to highlight some core successful ones that I've put here, as you can see. So you can see Visa, Flutterwave, you can see Huawei, MTN, Cold Stone, Domino's, Meta, Ray-Ban, Stripe, Paystack, and then Chowdeck and Amokelge's partnerships. Right. Why partnerships? Why exactly do we need partnerships? So, successful businesses care about growth. I mean, I would generally say all businesses care about growth, but there's no proof of that except that you're successful. So, successful businesses care about growth, right? And partnerships are not just nice to haves. Like I said, businesses or successful businesses care about growth, and growth usually starts with a partner or with an ally, right? Growth here is not the same as setting up a business or structuring your business. No. When you build a business or when you're building a business, the first thing you want to do is to put structures in place, right? While you're setting up or you set up the business, you want to put structures in place. And then the initial bits, right, while you're still a startup, is to find your footing. In the startup world, we say product market fit, to find product market fit, meaning to find your place in the market, to identify the market segment that you cater to, the people that are your customers, and the solution that is perfect for them. When you've identified that in a business, the next thing you're looking to do is to grow. Or, in other words, some of us use the word scale, right? The next thing you're looking to do is to scale. Now, proper scalability often starts with the right ally. Proper scalability often starts with the right ally. There's only so much that your business can do alone, right? Because there's only so much you can cover in geographical location. There's only so much you can cover in market share. But somebody else in the same market or in a wider market has access to a larger audience that you can plug in with one way or the other and get your product or your services to a larger audience. So I was trying to say earlier that partnerships aren't just nice to have. It's not because you want to brag that, oh, I have got a partner. No. Partnerships are deliberate and strategic, especially for businesses that know what they're doing, because it can help you multiply your reach, your resources, and your credibility in the same way that it can do the opposite for you. The right partnerships would help you multiply your reach, it will help you multiply your resources, it would help you multiply your credibility. But the wrong partnerships would also multiply your failures for you. A single partnership can accelerate your business growth faster than years of solo effort or months of solo effort from your business. What you would spend millions of naira, for some businesses, maybe even millions of dollars to achieve by yourself in your business, a single partnership can get you access to it without having to spend a dime. So, partnerships are important to help businesses grow or scale, right? A lot of us have built our businesses to the point where it looks like it's stagnant. I don't know if anybody here has been in that point where it looks like you've tried your possible best. You've done all you can, right? You've pulled all the magic tricks in your pocket, but you just can't get your business to grow beyond a certain point. It might be time to start considering partnerships, because it might just be a pointer to the fact that what you need to scale that business from that point on, you don't have it. But trust me, some other business most likely do. So Partnerships exist to help businesses grow and scale. And of course, you want to be very particular about the kind of partnerships that you engage, right? You want to be very particular about the kind of partnerships that you bring on into your business. You don't just go about picking any partnership, right? Please confirm, can you still see my screen? I think there was, hold on. Yeah, okay. You can still see my screen, right? You don't just go about picking any partner, just for picking sake. No. It needs to be deliberate. It needs to be strategic as well, right? Now, there are different kinds of partnerships or different types of partnerships, and I'll just use these image you can see on the screen to explain it. So I've categorized all kinds of partnerships into 4 sections: the channel partnerships, co-branding or co-marketing, supply and distribution alliances, and then innovation and technology sharing. Now, channel partnerships. So what I've also done here, one second. Okay, yeah. So what I've done here is to put together, if you can see clearly, what I've done is to put some, businesses there just to describe what I'm trying to say, right? And for channel partnership, you can see Shopify and TikTok there. Before I talk about that, I should explain what channel partnership is, right? A channel partnership is when a company teams up with another company or another business to sell or distribute their products or services through the partner's established channels, right? So company A has a product or a service. Company B has a channel meaning a market, an existing market, so to say, right, for company A's products or services. Company A and B would come together in a partnership to allow company A's products and services be sold through company B's channel, right? That's a channel partnership. So instead of building your own sales pipeline, right, looking for new customers in every single market, you can just leverage an existing business's channel to reach a wider audience. Now you'd see I put Shopify and TikTok's logos here, and that's to explain what I'm trying to say. Shopify and TikTok have a partnership where when TikTok realized that a lot of people were using TikTok for something else beyond just, creating videos and social engagements, people began to use TikTok to advertise their businesses, right? They went to Shopify, who is an existing marketplace, by the way, with millions of users. And then they said to Shopify, would like to integrate your platform with our social network so that when people advertise their products on TikTok, users or intending buyers can buy immediately by clicking a link and getting the products sent to them from TikTok, but using Shopify's technology. Shopify already had the businesses, they already had the infrastructure, they already had, the users, right? Most people already buy from Shopify. Anyways, most people already use Shopify. So TikTok's partnership with Shopify allowed people on TikTok to sell to Shopify's customers, simply put. So if you're an existing Shopify user, you can easily buy from TikTok. You can imagine that you're using Instagram, flipping through reels, and then you see a very nice jacket. You don't have to go out of the platform. You don't have to go searching for details about the jacket. You can see a very small buy button you know, and then you click that, you see the product you want, you select it while you're still in TikTok. Before you know, you've made payments because now it's integrated with your Shopify account, and you continue scrolling. That's a channel partnership, right? Now, secondly, co-branding and co-marketing. Some partnerships are, or should I say, some businesses join forces, right, to create a single marketing campaign. You can see Apple and Nike there. Apple and Nike created the Nike Plus product line. Now, some of you might know Nike Plus. It's a product line that's featured in Apple's app integration, right? Basically, Apple was trying to appeal to the athlete or sporty audience, which is where you'd find the started wearables like the Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch could do things that, you know, regular watches couldn't do, like read your vitals for you. It can track the steps that you're taking. It's a good companion for working out, right? Now, Apple and Nike. Nike, who we all know to produce sportswears, right? Then partnered with Apple to release a product line and the app integration, right? So you track workouts using the Apple devices while you're enjoying a Nike, what's it called, the Nike sneakers, right? Could somehow collaborate. Nike could provide to you some solutions for your sporty activities because you're wearing or you're using Apple products. And because they jointly created that product line, they also marketed it jointly. So it's called co-marketing or co-branding. Another very simple example of co-branding or co-marketing is a situation where a business is LSTF, for instance, puts together these webinars, right? And then imagine LSTF is inviting the CEO of, say, Quanta, that's myself, to speak at this event, right? Now, LSTF will market these masterclass, and because they are inviting the CEO of Quanta, Quanta would likely also market the masterclass, which is what we did, right? So now LSTF can get their brand elements or their marketing materials in the face of Quanta's followers. And Quanta can also get their logo or their brand elements in the face of LSTF's ecosystem, right? So that's what co-branding and co-marketing is. Nike, Apple. Apple had their own set of users. Nike had their set of users. But by co-branding, Nike can then market to Apple's users, and then Apple can also market to Nike's users without having to pay extra for getting into those separate audiences. That's it. Don't forget, the idea is that the two partners or all the partners in a partnership bring value to the table, right? And it helps them to no, I don't want to use the word evade. It helps them to spend less on something, right? It could be time, it could be money, it could be energy, as it were, right? But that's that. Now, the third kinds of partnership are the supply and distribution alliances. Supply and distribution alliances. And you can see I've put Dangote Cement and regional distributors here. Coca-Cola also falls in the same category. So in this case, this is a partnership where we have a steady production line, right? Like Dangote Cement, right? The partnership enables them to keep that steady production, supply, and market coverage. The partnership between Dangote and their distributors, the same thing with Coca-Cola and their distributors and businesses like this, allow the companies to keep a steady production, supply, and market coverage. Now, the distributors in this case would usually get the product discounts, right? If the RRP, that's recommended retail price for one cement, is 30,000 naira, distributors can get it at 20,000 naira and then sell at 30,000 naira, making them a profit of 10,000 naira. Or they can get at 25,000 naira, sell at 30, making a profit of 5,000, right? This gives the company, in this case, say Dangote or Coca-Cola, right, the ability to continue to produce at a level that they currently do or they're looking to do. Meaning, if they currently produce 50 million metric tons of cement per year, and they want to increase that number to 100, they don't have to go look for who to sell to in retail. They just have to look for more distributors in markets where they don't currently have access to. Enable those distributors. The distributors will sell to the people. Meanwhile, they just produce and supply. Produce and supply. Produce and supply. So it creates a supply and distribution partnership, right? The manufacturer usually would secure a long-term supplier or a distributor, right? The agreement would be to get, okay, volume discounts. It could even be logistics, right? Or inventory planning. And it also reduces the risks of shortages for the business. So, supply and distribution partnerships. And then finally here, I have innovation and technology sharing. And this is a more recent kind of partnership in the past decade or two, right? Where we see by the advent of tech companies, there are lots of partnerships that allow for businesses to not necessarily, share profit, but operational efficiencies through innovation and technology sharing. So you'll hear things like, for instance, you're building a solution and then there are other bits of the solution that you need, and it's a robust technology that needs to be built for it. You don't have to build that infrastructure if somebody else already has it. And then you just say things like, oh, okay, we can partner with them and pull their APIs, right? The APIs is like partnership tools, but in tech language, right? So you find innovation and technology sharing more rampant in today's world, right? Because we now have lots more tech companies out there. And I've highlighted Microsoft and OpenAI. Now, most of us know ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is a product of OpenAI. OpenAI is an AI company, right? And to build the AI models that they build, like the ChatGPT that we know of, it takes a lot of computing power, meaning a lot of infrastructure in the cloud. In simple terms, I would call it hosting. So if you have a website, you have to buy a domain, which is your website name, and then you have to buy hosting, which is, that service that allows you to put your website on the internet so that people can find you, right? It's like storage in a cloud. We say the word cloud, but they're actual physical devices that, somebody has in a server farm somewhere. Anyway, but yeah, now OpenAI needs a lot of computing power, a lot of cloud infrastructure, right? And Microsoft, on the other end, wanted to use OpenAI's AI models in their products. So Microsoft and OpenAI went into a partnership where they would share, Microsoft would share cloud infrastructure with OpenAI, and in turn, they would integrate OpenAI's models into their products. No money is being shared across. However, that's a huge partnership that is worth billions of dollars, because it would have cost OpenAI billions of dollars for the cloud infrastructure that Microsoft is giving to them. And it would also have cost Microsoft billions of dollars to build the AI models that OpenAI already built if they want to integrate with their products. So you see, businesses can collaborate to develop or just share technology. It could be research, it could be intellectual property, right? And that's because these things can be very expensive in today's world. But by combining expertise or by combining operational, technology, they streamline their operations efficiency, right? And or they co-develop a product. So you find that on all Microsoft tools today, they use OpenAI's chat AI models, right? Meanwhile, OpenAI gets for free cloud infrastructure. So these are types of partnerships. All kinds of partnerships that you look for will most likely fall under any of these four, as it were, right? Moving on. Now, finding the right partner. Alignment beats size. Finding the right partner is about who you align with. And when I say you, I mean your business goals. Who or what business, what company does your business goals align with, right? It's not just, oh, I also want to partner with big companies. I want to partner with Apple. I want to partner with Google. No, it's not just about throwing big names around. It's more about who or what business will help you achieve your growth goals or your scale goals, right? So it's about alignment. Who do you align with? What business do you align with, right? Take a look at the Paystack integration with Stripe that I mentioned earlier. In 2016, when they integrated with Stripe to be able to collect payments from international companies, international countries, right? Or from other countries. They weren't thinking, oh, we just need to partner with somebody so that our name can be in the news. So they didn't go to Google and say, Google, want to partner with you. What's the essence? Why exactly would they go to Google? Google has a big name, but it didn't make sense to do that. They didn't go to Twitter and say, Twitter, let's partner with you. You guys are big. They didn't go to Facebook and say, Facebook, let's partner. You guys are big. No, the partnership wasn't about the size of the partner. It was about the value that the partner can bring to the table, and also the value they can bring to the partner. Don't forget, both partners have to bring value to the table. Very important. So it was about, okay, who can help us, or what business can help us reach this audience that has become a barrier to us? We know people in diaspora want to buy from Nigerian businesses. We already have lots of Nigerian businesses using our payment processors, but we can't accept payments from outside the country. Which business can we speak with or can we integrate with to help us collect payments outside the country? So you can be rest assured that when they integrated with Stripe, Stripe gets a cut of any transaction that happens through their platform, right? That's how it works. Stripe gets a cut of any transaction that happens on the platform. So it's about alignment, not so much about size. Another example is the Amakeoge that I mentioned earlier, and partnering with Chowdeck. Amokelge listed on Chowdex platform because, or any other business in Nigeria listed on Chowdex platform because they have access to Nigerians around where they sell. It's not just about, oh, can we, partner with anybody just to sell our products? No. I'm sure they didn't consider partnering with Uber Eats. We don't even have Uber Eats like that here in the country. They tried it at some point. It wasn't really successful. So they, stopped. They didn't exactly push it. But Uber Eats is big in the US. They didn't say, oh, let's partner with Uber Eats. It will give us visibility. People will know us, even abroad. No, because it's not practical. They partnered with Chowdeck because Chowdeck has access to the markets they need to sell to. So it's about alignment. And Uber Eats is way bigger than Chowdeck. So it's not about the size, right? And I put together a checklist. If you are considering partnerships, right, there are three things you need to look at. You need to look at aligned customer segment. The business you're trying to partner with, do they have your customer segment? Do they have your customers, your ideal customers in place? You need to look at complementary strengths. What I'm bringing to the table, does it complement what this partner does? Or actually, more succinctly put, it should be what this partner brings to the table. Does it complement our value? Does it complement our products or our services? Not identical offerings. Partnership isn't so much about selling or partnering with somebody who already sells exactly what you sell. That can be easily seen as competition. I mean, in today's world, we can brandish it as collaboration to an extent, yes. But it's not exactly a complementary partnership. And the third thing is shared values and culture. Whenever you're partnering, the same way when you're employing people to work in your business, you're very particular about, culture fit. And that's because we're different people, and we want to be sure that the individual culture of one person fits the overall culture of the organization that they're applying to work at. It's the same thing with partnerships. Do our values align? Do we have culture fit? You can have everything in place, but if values and cultures are not aligned, you would have a problem with such partnership because when push comes to shove, each partner would behave the way they know how to behave, and there would be a conflict of interest. A very good example to explain what I'm trying to say here in finding the right partner is bread and beans. And I know it's a very mundane example, but we all know it. We all see it around, right? When you see a beans seller and then you notice a bread seller beside them, either you like it or not, it is some form of partnership because the customers of the beans seller, of people who eat beans, would most likely want to consider eating bread alongside with the beans. So if there's a place where there's an established bean seller, and then you see a bread seller come and also set up very close to them, that's because bread complements beans, at least in our environment. Bread complements beans. So bread and beans. You see somebody selling beans, you see somebody selling bread. Usually you see them hawk together, as a matter of fact, right? The bean seller might already have an audience, but the bread seller is new into the market. Just need to go and purchase somebody that sells beans. And then before you know it, you're selling more because people who buy beans would most likely might want to buy bread. So they complement each other. They're not selling the same thing, right? It's not, oh, one person is selling our going and then somebody else now says, since they're selling our going, let me bring my pottage beans as well to come and sell beside you. Either I like it or not, before you know it, there's some form of competition. People are now they're thinking, okay, is the going better than the potted beans? Me, I like the potted beans, me, I like the going. Before you know it, you split your audience, right? You split your customers. Rather, somebody already sells the going, sell bread or sell Gary, right? Something, a product that complements the partner, right? And then shared values and culture is what we keep that bread seller and that bean seller from fighting. Because if they don't have similar values and culture, as much as they sell complementary products or food items, they might have clashes from time to time. Why? Because one person likes to cheat at customers, the other person doesn't like it. And she doesn't like that whoever the other partner is cheating at customers, right? So, I mean, that's just an example, so to say. Or one person is very neat, the other person is not. The person that sells beans is neat with the way she sells her food, packages it, gets it to the customer. But the person that sells bread is very shabby, very lackadaisical and all that. Most likely there might be an issue, right? So shared values and culture, very important. Now, in partnership, trust is a key factor, right? And trust is built through transparency and consistency. You want to be as transparent as possible, and you want to be consistent with your transparency, right? The reason Stripe went from just partnering with Paystack for payment integration across border to investing in them 2 years later was because Paystack was transparent with their transactions through and through. Stripe could easily see all the transactions that went through their platform. Paystack was transparent with them end to end. And they were consistent as well. So it gave Stripe the trusts, like it built trusts with Stripe to say, okay, if these guys could consistently do this over, the past year or so, maybe we should start monitoring and start looking into investing in their business. And they did. And even while they invested, while Stripe was just an investor, they eventually bought out Paystack because it presented to be, a business that would help them get the entry into the African markets that they need. And Paystack was still transparent with them all through, even while they invested in them. It was a no-brainer, right? So partnerships ride on trust. You don't want to cheat your partner. Partnerships are win-win situations. You win, your partner wins, right? Greed doesn't have a place in partnerships. Greed does not have a place in partnerships, right? You need to develop that value addition mentality if you're going to go into a partnership, because you need to offer value for whatever you need in return, right? And it's valuable to you, what you're getting, what you're offering must be valuable to your partner. What's valuable to one person might not be valuable to another person. So partnerships are not all, one size fits all. It is very peculiar to the relationship you have with so-called partner, right? So partnerships are built on trust, and trust is built through transparency and consistency. How do you leverage your already existing networks for business expansion, right? Leveraging your existing networks is some form of partnership. How do you leverage people you already know and maybe even people you don't even know for business expansion? Very important. A lot of us, we don't, well, there's a Yoruba saying that, I'm just going to say it in English, pardon me, but basically it translates to what you're looking for in Shokoto is in your Shokoto, right? A lot of us are looking for business explosion, right? And we're looking at the wrong things to help us achieve those business growth and business expansion plans that we have. Meanwhile, somebody you know might be able to introduce you to a company that you would partner with that would get you the expansion that you have planned. Often more than not, your next big partner is only one introduction away. It could be at an industry event, it could be on WhatsApp groups, it could even be at casual meetups. You can spark conversations with anybody. Before you know it, collaboration, if you're able to show up and share your business goals, you never can tell who is looking for the value that you also have in place. Now, you can also be deliberate about it to sieve through your networks and find people or businesses that can bring value for you to aid your business growth. And you can also offer value to them in return, right? Remember, I'd said value doesn't have to be monetary. It could be monetary and it might not be. It could be other things. It could be brand awareness. It could be market reach. It could be customer segment access. It could be anything. It could be operational efficiency. But value has to be exchanged, right? Mostly, we say that if you want to meet anybody, they're maximum 2 or 3 introductions away. If I want to meet the president of the country today, is 1 introduction away. Now, I don't know him personally, but I know somebody that knows him, that works with him. So if I really need to meet with the president, is 1 introduction away. If I need to meet with the president of the United States, it's probably 2 introductions away. Somebody introduces me to the president of Nigeria, who in turn introduces me to the president of America. That's just 2 introductions away. I mean, yes, it's not just as simple as it's said, but that's all there is to it. That's how you look at leveraging networks, right? Whomever you want to talk to is 1 or 2 introductions away. So if you have identified that you need a partnership with any brand or any business, and you don't have access to even reach out to them over the phone and say, oh, hello, I have a possible partnership to propose to you, or you need somebody to get you into the door, there's most likely somebody you know today that knows them or that knows somebody that knows them. Very simple. So you can start there. Start from within your networks. And of course, there's no way you want to begin to explore your networks to activate partnerships when you're not sure of your business goals or your growth goals. Most importantly, start with your growth goals. You need to outline what your growth goals are and then seek out the partnerships that can help you achieve those goals. Very simple. Now, all kinds of partnerships pose risks and conflicts. The same way they, they bring positive value, they could also be risky and they could pose conflicts at some point in time or the other. How do you manage risks and conflicts? Very simple. Plan ahead. Plan for the friction before the partnership starts. So set clear contracts, put down KPIs, exit terms, periodic reviews, etc. Plan ahead, right? Nobody likes to be cheated. And if you're in a partnership where you don't feel like you're getting enough value, there's bound to be friction. However, before the partnership, if you're able to document and set clear expectations of both sides agree to what they deem valuable enough for them, and you run with that, everybody would be fine. You would not wake up one day and say, why am I even giving 12% of my revenue to these people exactly? What are they doing for us? That's because now you're questioning the value that they bring to the table. And you're thinking it's not valuable enough for you to pay 12% of your revenue for. But there are other partnerships that you will gladly pay 20% or 50% of your revenue for, because you know whatever they're doing or whatever they give you access to is valuable enough. So plan for the friction before it starts. Managing conflict shouldn't start when the conflict arises, especially in business partnerships. It should start even before the partnership kicks off, right? You want to ensure that you have planned for it. So you put guardrails in place, right? Clear contracts. You agree on your KPIs. Planning early will keep your relationship strong, and then it will help you avoid challenges when it arises, because whether you like it or not, challenges will arise. Challenges will arise. So it helps to plan properly ahead for such challenges. Now, I'd like to give us, or to leave us with this. You don't have to wait until you're huge to seek partnerships. And you don't have to wait for that big company to partner with. You can start where you are. And I've created a checklist here to help you begin to explore partnerships for achieving your business growth goals. First thing is to even map out what those growth goals are. What are you trying to achieve with your business? What are the growth goals? This is where you're at today. Where are you trying to be tomorrow? In terms of revenue, in terms of market share, in terms of customer access, all of that. Map out your growth goals, document them. Then seek out or list out 5 potential partners that can help you achieve these growth goals. Now, what I'm doing here right now is a task that I'm giving to you. I believe LSTF has a structure to also work with you guys from time to time. So I would expect that they follow up on these tasks, to sort of help you as well. When you map out your goals, you know what you're trying to achieve, right? Then list out partners, potential partners, 5 potential partners that can help you achieve those goals. It could be small time partnerships. It could be big deal partnerships, anything, right? But the partnerships or the potential partnerships are a result of what your growth goals are, right? Then I want you to draft your value offer. Don't forget, like I said, partnership is about value, right? You bring value to the table, they bring value to the table. If you've identified that this partner can help you achieve your growth goal in one way or the other, that means there's value that they are bringing to you. You also need to draft and make sure you have value for them. So draft your value offer. It's not just about pitches. And this happens a lot. So for instance, you would hear a lot of people would tell you that when you meet successful people, don't beg, right? When you meet successful people, don't ask for handouts. Rather, communicate value. So that's like what it is, right? If you go to a company that can help you achieve your goals, don't go there and be begging them and say, please, if you people allow us to put our platform or our product on your platform, we will sell, we'll be able to help a small business. No, that's not it. Go to them and say, hi, I would like to propose a partnership where we enlist our products on your platform, and in return, so I mean, obviously, what we get from that is we can sell our products to your audience or your customers that already exist. And in return, we will do this for you. It could be monetary, right? So you can take 10% of the sale, or we can provide this service to you in return. That's a partnership offer. So draft your value offer that you will take to these partners, and every week meet at least one partner and propose your partnerships to them. Meet at least one partner and propose your partnerships to them. So let me take this again. Starting this week, I'd like you to map your growth goals, map out your growth goals, actually write them out. You can submit them to LSTF, the coordinators of the community, right? And the community managers. List 5 potential partners that can help you achieve these goals. Draft an offer for each of these partners. And every week, meet at least one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's session. I'd like to take our questions now, or contributions, comments, and all of that. I'd like to take those now. So, questions, or contributions, comments, as it were. This is the time to take those. Sorry. Questions. Do we have any?
Didn't catch that.
Any questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for such a very, very wonderful session. So if you know that you have questions from Mr. Emmanuel, please you can use the Q&A box so that your questions doesn't get lost in the chat box. But just before we do that, I'll be launching a poll on your screen. Please, your feedback is very, very important to us. So please kindly fill this poll as it gets launched on your screen and as it pops up on your screen. Thank you. Mr. Emmanuel, I think I saw a question on LinkedIn just as we started the session. And I know that usually we have viewers on LinkedIn also that follow our session. And I would be for you. So while we take the question on LinkedIn, please we already have the poll launched on your screen. Please, your feedback is very, very important to us. Sahid Makinde is asking, how do you evaluate and choose the right partners for long-term success? Because it's saying strategic partnership.
I can't hear you anymore. I'm not sure if it's just me, but mommy, I can't hear you.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you now.
But please, can you come? Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes. So
Okay.
take the question again.
So I said there's a question right here on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and the question is from Sahid Makinde and is saying strategic partnerships can unlock new markets and capabilities, but they also come with risks and dependencies. So it's asking, how do you evaluate and choose the right partners for long-term success?
I believe I already responded to that earlier. I'll just refer back to this checklist here, right? You need to have aligned customer segments. 1, you need to have complementary strengths. 2, and you need to have shared values and culture. That's it. Finding the right partner is as simple as that. If those 3 things fall in place, you're good to go, right? Your customer segments must align, meaning whatever you're trying to offer, you can see value there, right? There has to be complementary strengths. They complement your service, you complement their service, simply put. And then values and culture align. If you have these 3 things in place, you most likely have a formidable potential partnership, in view. That's it, simply put.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for that feedback, and I'm very sure that answers Mr. Sai's question. So just like Mr. Emmanuel says, aligned customer segments, complementary,
Strength.
complementary strengths, and we also have shared values and culture. So these are very, very important. getting the right partnerships for your business. And I'm very sure a lot of all our participants today, a lot from today's session. Please, you can go ahead in the chat box and show Mr. Emmanuel your appreciation. But we also have the Q&A box for those that might have the day. So for those that have questions, so while we wait for the questions, this is just a gentle reminder of our polls that have been launched on your screen. Your feedback is very important to us, so please do fill the poll that's been launched on your screen. Thank you. So we've had participants showing appreciation in the chat box. So I'm guessing we do not have questions for Mr. Emmanuel. Okay, I think everyone got the questions firsthand. I got the explanation firsthand. So for those that probably joined us late and you started the session with us, but you would like to go back, to watch this session again, you can go to our YouTube channel. We have the the recorded version on there where you can go back to rewatch today's session and all of our previous sessions. So thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for taking our time off your busy schedule to facilitate our session today. I can see that we do not have any more questions from our participants today. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking our time also from your busy schedules to attend today's session. I'm very sure all of us learned a thing or two from today's session. So thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, and we look forward to having you when next we reach out to you for another insightful session. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining our session today. And thank you so much for everyone that's given us their feedback on our polls. Thank you. Your feedback means so much to us, and we appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much, everyone, and do enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Bye, everyone.